Welcome to Pod Tempo, our podcast.
Tempo.
Click that link, jump on.
Can you keep up?
I don't think we're live. Hold on.
I think we're live.
Are we? Hold on. I haven't gotten a notification.
We're live.
13,
Okay.
15.
It's bugged. My bad. All right. Sorry about that.
All right. You should have gave it 5 seconds for was cool off. Ooh.
Right.
I'm literally not even sure if we're live.
We're live. I'm looking at it.
Did I say live? Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm literally losing my StreamYard is freaking out for me right now. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Live.
All right. So anyway, we have some stuff we want to talk about today. Obviously, what we always do.
Are we live?
There we go. Now we're live. Okay, so we've been live about 45 seconds. Sorry about that. Anybody that was in. I think what happened was it did the thing where we're not live, but it pretends like we are. It was recording for 55 seconds, right? So that'll probably be in there. Sorry, guys, if you see that. I'm gonna try and cut it out in the YouTube editing if I can.
It's okay. But it's bloopers.
Just consider that a little extra bloopers. We were having a little technical difficulties. So actually, what was happening? I'll just explain it to everybody because it's kind of funny. It was like there's a little button up here on the side of my screen that says to go live, right? And then I click on that button, and then it makes me confirm I want to go live just in case I think you don't accidentally do it. So I go to click that button, and it just spins and spins and spins. And then I was like, that's why I was like, I don't know what's happening, guys, because I literally had no idea if we were live. So we must have been, but it just didn't tell me. Sorry about that, everybody. So the first topic of discussion for today is we're going to do a little WandaVision because I like that show, and it's been doing some good stuff, and Tony needs to watch it. So make sure you tell him in the comments to watch this show so we can talk about spoilers.
Yes, I do.
WandaVision now is at how me and Garrett's screen look, and hopefully it's gonna start looking like Tony's, where it's like HD.
Oh, that would be cool if we got like a modern television. Oh, that'd be cool.
But it is kind of HD though, because the new one.
Technicolor. We're in you got to be specific. We're in Technicolor now.
Yeah, we're in Technicolor. Yeah, we're like the Wizard of Oz. Like after Dorothy.
Get the gimmick. And this isn't really spoilers. You get the gimmick they're going for, right? It's they're going through the different eras of television. It's cool.
Yeah, remember when Dorothy crashed in her house and it was black and white and the
tornado was going around
and she saw the witch. She saw the witch, and then when she came out of her house, everything was in color in Munchkin Land. That's where we're at in WandaVision.
Oh. Interesting. I hadn't even thought about that. That's true. That's true. There is some Wizard of Ozzy stuff going on in there. That's cool.
Yeah,
that was a good catch. I didn't even notice that.
Exactly. Like Dorothy opened the house, and it was
that's the vibe they're going for sure. Absolutely. And they're packaging it all in this like 1960s aesthetic television show.
They made it like the Brady Bunch, like the Brady Bunch or I Dream of Jeannie.
So yeah, if you guys can tell the level of excitement, you should watch the show if you haven't already for sure. It's definitely fun.
And it's getting interesting. It's starting to get a little bit deeper and serious.
If you're into Marvel and you think that you're maybe not that into Marvel, this is a good show for you because it's gonna be really confusing at first, but it actually is, to me, a really interesting show. I think you'll actually like it more than you think you will.
Yeah, if you're a Marvel fan, this is something that you'll definitely like because you start seeing characters and people start to you see Scarlet Witch and Vision start to kind of come into character a little bit for what their characters really are.
Way more development for sure, yeah.
I don't want to spoil it for everybody, but
don't spoil anything. Just kind of dance around.
You gotta watch it from the beginning now. You got to watch it from the beginning now because it's going. Once it gets deep, you're in the ocean. There's no swimming back. If you start from the middle of the ocean, you're gonna drown because you're not gonna know what's going on.
Right.
You're gonna just take it started from there, and you're gonna miss all the good parts, which what makes it awesome.
I just like being able to watch 4 or 5 of them in a row, 3 to 4 to 5, something like that.
I mean, it's actually kind of funny too. The first they kind of corny, but as it's getting up into this 3rd episode, which they showed last week, which I will be tuning into the 4th one at midnight. So you actually got time. So after we get done with this, you might as well act like you still on a podcast and just go ahead and watch it for an hour. And we did a 2-hour show today.
I didn't realize I had that incorrectly. We weren't actually doing spoilers. Sorry, everybody that left because of that. I was from last week. I made a joke because Phil accidentally spoiled a small thing.
Well, the only spoiler is that it's in color now.
Yeah, that's kind of a spoiler, but I mean, it's not really. I mean, I think it's the cool thing that I would tell you if you've not watched it after 3 weeks or after 3 episodes anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It is going through eras of television.
Now, I do have some questions about it, like their style of dress and the transition from how they went from it's kind of like they're going like, oh, it's going through the Scarlet Witch's mind but then
Yeah, it's so. If you guys want to know why this is an interesting storyline, just look up House of M, because it's a really interesting storyline, and it'll explain to you what's really going on in the background of the show. Because, and that is spoilers, apologies, but like just House of M is a really interesting storyline that should make you interested in this show. I don't know much about it. I just know the basics of it, and it's really cool stuff. Even on the
and I'm not even gonna tell. Oh, I forgot about the best part of it. Like, but you know what? I'm not gonna say nothing.
No, I'm curious. I don't know what you're gonna say, so I'm curious myself. I'm interested in what you have to say.
No, because I was gonna say like what happened to Wanda in the third episode. I don't want to mention it.
No, you don't want to mention the exact, but I get what you're getting at. If you just say it like that's good enough for people that have seen it to know what you're talking about.
But it is really cool and interesting. Like the third episode has some like serious issues with it. Like, and it's something very interesting.
Here's how I'll put it. So that there's another one of those ways I'm good at phrasing things. So they do a thing with her character that makes you mistrust her a little bit.
Yeah, and another thing too is I'll just give you all one hint. She brings up her brother.
Oh, okay.
Oh, does she? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess she does. Yeah, I guess. Briefly.
She mentions him.
Yeah.
She's telling Vision like...
I like... By the way, Pietro was a great character.
I had a brother. Remember?
I think we could get another version of him in the new MCU with the mutants.
I hope so.
I would love to see Pietro come back, even with the same actor, especially. That'd be cool. Yes. Or even a new one. Bring in the guy from... was he in Days of Future Past? The other X-Men movie? Was that the one he was in? Quicksilver?
So
that guy would be cool. Imagine they brought him in. That would be a mind explosion.
Quicksilver's her brother, though, ain't it?
Right.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. No, yeah. That's not a spoiler to talk about Quicksilver. She's definitely related to Quicksilver for sure.
But she mentioned him in the third episode.
She mentions him, yeah. And it's not really a big deal. It's important to the episode, but it's not super like unless you're already invested in the story.
But it kind of helps though when she talks about it because she kind of refers to.
If I didn't know that's what you were mentioning, yeah, it's fine to talk about. Yeah,
she kind of refers
to it because I think it's. Phil, I'm going to try and not spoil things as well. I think it's indicative of what's really going on. Don't you? Yeah. So we'll get more into that once we can do full spoilers on this, once Tony is caught up.
About our viewers that haven't seen it either. So
the viewers, I feel like
if y'all want me to spoil it, I'll just spoil it. Somebody
no spoilers.
Hey,
no
comments.
No,
if you all want me to spoil it, if we get
no.
Say spoil.
Mute him.
I did. I accidentally muted you both by doing that for some reason.
I said if we get 20 comments, we'll spoil it.
If we get 20 comments, okay, that's fair. If we get 20 comments, or 5 likes on this video, I will put out a spoiler review with Phil. And I'm more than happy to do that. I'm more than happy to do that anyway. By the way, Phil, if you want to do a spoiler review, I just don't want to spoil it for Tony and the fans that haven't seen it yet.
I'll tell you the whole. But if we get 20 comments and 5 likes.
All right, that seems like a reasonable goal. Get the video traction, guys. Let's go. Let's get this podcast out there.
I'll be like John Madden. I'll go through every play-by-play.
Smash Mouth football.
I watched each one. I watched each episode twice, just because I had to go back to see what because after I watched the third
offensive.
Yeah. After I watched the third episode on WandaVision, I had to go back and watch the other 2 to see what I missed. Catch up.
There's some this is a rewatchable show for sure. You're gonna want to watch. I haven't done it because I don't tend to do that with TV for some reason, but I'm going to probably go back with this and The Mandalorian and watch some of the episodes because there's a lot of stuff packed into small scenes that you don't notice in these.
Now, shows. Mandalorian, like I don't know, is it over? Because Luke
Skywalker there'll be a new season next. There'll be a new season next year. There will be a show called The Book of Boba.
Luke Skywalker came and got Baby Yoda. Now, see, I thought The Mandalorian took place before.
Spoilers! Oh my god!
I believe you've seen that.
Oh, The Mandalorian's been over with, though.
I know, but come on, man. It's the end of the series so far.
Oh, I thought
that's where they left off.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought everybody already would have seen it by now.
They probably have, but that's not the point. There's some people that haven't.
I mean, easily they could be like, somebody's.
If we're labeling it a spoiler review, it's one thing, but just saying it in the middle of the show is going to make people upset.
I'm lying.
It's okay, Phil. You don't. It's okay. It's not that big of a deal. It's just.
I thought The Mandalorian. The last.
You're gonna get so much. Here's what's gonna happen. If a show ever makes it big, you're gonna get so much crap from the fans for how much you spoil.
I thought it was already over.
No, you're fine. This show's been out for like a couple of months now. It's not that big of a deal. There's just people that will always complain about spoilers, no matter how long it's. You could spoil The Matrix and someone would be upset about it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet, bro.
They do got a new Matrix coming out. They don't have
Oh
no
yeah, that's
trailer
right. They
on
are
it.
doing that. That's so we should talk
Have you
about
seen
that.
HBO Max?
We should wait
preview?
until the casting news comes out about that because I think Keanu is the only one that I know of that's involved in the new Matrix.
No,
I think.
Lawrence Fishburne in it too.
Oh, okay. Have the original cast coming back? I didn't know. I haven't heard much about it.
Yeah,
Okay,
already
cool.
got
That one should be good.
Have you seen the preview on HBO Max? So the movies they're bringing out
That
Space
should be
Jam.
interesting. Did we
They're
talk
bringing
about
out
this
King
story?
Kong
I can't
versus
remember.
Godzilla, and they're bringing out the Matrix.
So
have we talked about that? Actually, let's just package it all in this story because this is all we're talking about anyway. So there's all these movies coming out this year.
Well, and they're putting them on HBO. Like Warner Brothers is putting their movies on HBO Max for 20.
Dune got yanked. 30.
But I think Matrix is supposed to be a series.
Well, Matrix is going to be a movie, and they pretty much wrapped it because originally it was supposed to debut the same day as John Wick 4.
Matrix 4, Child of Zion.
They were wrapping them together, and they were both going to premiere like May something, like 2021, I think is what it was. But now, of course, they filmed Matrix, with I've heard they're just about done, and they haven't started John Wick 4 yet, which to me is more important than Matrix.
Tony, how long have I been talking about this?
How
This
is
is
John
the way
Wick
the
more
industry's been
important than
going
Matrix?
for
It's supposed to
the
bring the
last couple
Matrix out.
decades, right?
Matrix is supposed to come out in November. By the way, I looked it out. Matrix is supposed to come out in November, and I think it's supposed to be a series. I think they changed it because it was going to be Matrix 4.
I think I remember actually hearing what Phil was talking about. I think there was talk about a Matrix series at one point, but I don't think it ever got anywhere off the ground. I think it was just talk.
I think it's just a movie.
Just like there was like all those rumors about Star Wars for years when George Lucas just owned everything and controlled all the rights, right? There wasn't a discussion, just like there's not a discussion now because Disney controls everything. You know,
I actually Googled it and went on YouTube like to look it up. And then like the Matrix 4, they was gonna do Child of Zion. They made all these fake trailers of it. There's no official trailer for it. They just got a bunch of
it's all just speculation right now.
Fan base trailers about the Matrix 4, Child of Zion.
Now,
they do have an old Keanu.
And I don't think I even watched the third Matrix.
I've seen all three Matrixes. They're
Look,
good.
the one on HBO Max showed up. If you go through the HBO Max like preview where they're showing all the movies, they got like one little like a trailer of all the movies. They do show an older Keanu Reeves that's still blind. Like with
what are you guys most excited for out of this? Is it the Matrix? Is there other movies that you're more excited for out of this slate of what is
Matrix,
it, 5 or 6?
and King Kong versus Godzilla? But I think
I'm hyped for Mortal Kombat, bro. Let's go.
Mortal Kombat will be good. I'm really hyped for Fast and Furious.
Mortal Kombat will be good, but I just watched that new Mortal Kombat. They had the Scorpion one. Have you all watched that yet?
Are you talking about like the Machinima series for forever?
No, it's an animated Mortal Kombat that they just came out with.
I did.
When is that? Wait, what is this on? What is it on?
It's on. I'm not sure which one. You know, I got the Fire Sticks. I'm like,
well, if I can figure out what, I've not even heard of this. What?
It's the Ghost of Scorpion or something. It's called Scorpion's Revenge. And
I really hope it's the storyline that I think they went with, because that's like the classic MK storyline is MK versus Sub-Zero because of that whole.
Yeah, it's animated. It shows Scorpion like when he was a regular dude, and then it shows. I'm not gonna tell you everything.
No, obviously I don't want spoilers, but
but it's called. I mean,
I know the story anyway. What am I talking about?
Look it up. I think it's on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix, but it's called.
I'll have to look for it. I'm really interested in that though.
Scorpion's Revenge, and it shows
that's
Scorpion.
That is a perfect miniseries idea. Take the little individual character backstories for some of these characters and just loop them in. That would be a great way for MK.
It's a whole movie, though. Like and
then maybe get a movie series out of it. Actually, besides just one, you know, like that's because people like discount Mortal Kombat. It's literally just gladiator battles, but like taken to the nth degree. You know what I mean? Like that's all it is. You know.
Hey, but the animated one is brutal though.
So
it's rated R. It's rated R. Like Scorpion goes through some shit. Like. They pretty much portray him as a good guy, but then like a bad guy at the same time, but he's still a good guy. It's crazy.
Yeah, Scorpion is a very complicated character and here's why. Because Scorpion originally believes that Sub-Zero kills his family and his entire village. So he goes on a revenge spree and kills all of Sub-Zero's family and village.
Well, you know what?
So he's not actually been killed. His family's village was never actually killed by Sub-Zero. It was by a source for manipulating him to believe it was, so that he would fight on the bad guy side. That's why I think Mortal Kombat is actually an interesting story, because
I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just going to say after this, you need to go watch Mortal Kombat.
Okay. If they adapted that into like an actual television form, I'm going to Google it after the show. I'm trying to stay professional for right now, but I'm not sure like showing it on my face right now, but I'm actually really excited about that because that's really interesting. And it's a really good story too.
It was good.
And Mortal Kombat, again, like I said, discounted by how good it actually is as a story. So,
and it was animated. So this new Mortal Kombat's got to be good. They got to be basing it off the animation because I can't believe you. Believe you haven't seen it yet.
I know, right? I'm gonna be a wild Mortal Kombat fan and say that I would want the movie to be about the character. Have you guys ever heard of that one line that they did in Mortal Kombat where they literally had you be like it was almost like an open world RPG character? And you were going around like fighting. Anyway, so basically the story was you were this like regular warrior that goes on to become one of the top Mortal Kombat like tournament guy people, and you take over all like the realms eventually, and like you rule all the power. But like it's ultimately like just another manipulation by the beings that play in the background that are always manipulating shit in the Mortal Kombat. Because manipulation by the gods is always, I think, a fun storyline because it just implies that no matter what belief system you have, it's corrupt. Like it doesn't matter. And it's like at some levels, there's somebody in there that's unsavory or manipulating you for some reason, and I just love the idea of that being in a fantasy world, like where you have all these people that are like just it's like imperialism on like the highest levels, just literally invading another universe to take more land because you've conquered the entirety of your realm.
And look, I think Scorpion's
you know what I mean? It's just such a great metaphor.
I think Scorpion's story is better than how they made the Mortal Kombat surrounding Liu Kang's story. His is like the base. Liu Kang's is like the basic Chinese. It's like the basic, and it's the basic Asian story. You know what I'm saying? Like going around Liu Kang's. He comes in as an Asian. He's the chosen one. Blah blah blah. Scorpion's is much more brutal. Like when you watch this Revenge Scorpion, it's much more brutal. It's deeper. It's like, gosh, it's just like.
Are you trying to get at like that Kurizaka?
It's like selling your soul, like going crazy type of stuff. It's good. I like watching the Scorpion version. I mean, it's just like Mortal Kombat. Like, when you play with each character, they had a different storyline. Scorpion's storyline is kind of based on the same thing, but they just really made it.
Scorpion is interesting because he believes that he's right. Scorpion's an example of an idealistic fool who believes that he's right.
He's
actually wrong. He's not though. His family wasn't killed by Sub-Zero.
Oh, I'm not gonna say nothing. Wait do you see Scorpion's revenge?
If the twist in that show is that it actually was Sub-Zero, then that's dumb. Because
it was different Sub-Zeros. It was older ones.
Okay, well, there is alternate Sub-Zeros, but there is two different Sub-Zeros that I'm aware of.
Like Sub-Zero they got like a whole tribe of them. Like it's different. Like
they're called the Lin Kuei. Okay, this is the basic difference. The Shiraiyu, which is the clan that which I'm probably butchering the name of. The Shiraiyu, which is the yellow ninja clan, the yellow colored ninja. When I mean that is their outfits, the ones that when Scorpions always have the yellow robes, like that's what I mean. Those guys that wear those, if you have ever seen any of the live action stuff, and then there's the blue robe guys who are the Lin Kuei, and those are the two families / tribes, or what do they call them? Not guilds. Whatever they call them. There's some name for assassins. Anyway.
It's called Mortal Kombat Legends. Scorpion's Revenge.
That should be interesting but anyway, and so they've always been opposed because one of them has like ice powers and one of them has fire powers, and they also all have the same amount of like martial arts training. So they've always been, opposed because of ideological.
Oh yeah, and everybody's in it too. So Liu Kang's in it. I forgot. I'm okay.
Well, this is the thing. Lin Kuei and Shiraiyu are both clans that exist. That's what I was looking for. The assassin clans. The clans both exist on Earthrealm. So of course the Earthrealm characters are going to involve themselves because that conflict, really does affect. Like when people don't realize this, when the Lin Kuei and the Shiraiyu, I cannot pronounce it, are at war, it's basically like a world war existing in the MK universe. I'm too much of a nerd on Mortal Kombat, but I've literally like when you spend hours playing the games, you look into the lore. You know what I mean? Like, because it's fascinating. Like I've spent way too many hours in my life.
That's a video game I could play because I like fighting games. Like I could play that all day.
And there's a good storyline. If you are curious, you have a 360, right? You should be able to get Mortal Kombat 9.
I got
that story mode is super.
Dang, you just gonna down me to a 360. I at least got a 1.
I thought you had a 360 still. I don't know.
I got a 360 too.
Yeah, on your 360, you should download Mortal Kombat 9. Then you should play Mortal Kombat X. Then you should play Mortal Kombat. What is the new one? 11. You should play all three of those in a row because they're the same connected storyline. But you should play on your. Why I said your 360 is because you can't get Mortal Kombat 9 on the Xbox One. I know that because I've tried for years now. Like it's a really good game, but I would say play the story mode, get good at fighting in those games, then play the next two games because they're basically clones.
What do I have? I do have the new Mortal Kombat.
11? Okay, so have you played the story mode for it?
Yeah.
Okay, were you really confused at points because there were 2 games of story before then that you should have played?
I cheated. I beat it with somebody. Oh, I beat it with Jason Voorhees, I think.
I mean, that's not really cheating. They're just not main characters in the story.
It's got Jason Voorhees on it. Jason Voorhees be kicking ass. I feel like.
Hey man, the DLC characters are usually pretty yoinked in Mortal Kombat.
And he got the revive power. Like after you about to die, he'd be like, duh, and his power go back up. Like you start.
All right, we've gotten a little sidetracked here.
All right, we're still talking about the entertainment industry changes.
Well, I know, but we talked too much about Mortal Kombat. Like, we got to talk about the other movies. I'm a little annoyed because Dune was supposed to be a part of this slate originally and then got removed. I'm really annoyed. I mean, I support the actors and the actresses that want to do that.
They made Dune.
That's their decision. And that's what Legendary wants to do. That's up to them. Right? I'm not against that. I just wish I could still get Dune on the streaming because I want to watch it.
I wish they could make some new movies instead of all these remakes. Every movie right now coming out is a remake. It's like there's no creativity. It's like you would think
everything's an adaptation. I would correct you too.
You would think with this COVID-19 they would be thinking of like a new Matrix.
There are a lot of remakes, but most things are adaptations these days. It feels like
a new classic.
But if you go back through the history of film, some of the most well-liked films of all time aren't original. They're all based on something original, you know, like so. But you know, that's hey, man. If a movie works, it works. But yeah, I'm really excited for Mortal Kombat. What else are we talking about before that? I'm also excited for that. Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of things. Like I can't wait for concerts to come back, man. Like, you can't go to no concerts right now, and it's just getting worse.
Yeah, I would like to go to some concerts too. I wanted to go to a couple last year, and I never ended up.
Casino music, you got to watch. I do not want to see you perform live on YouTube as an artist.
I think there's something to it. I think
the versus battles are entertaining.
I think you can have good online concerts. I just don't think the tech is quite there yet.
The only thing I think is good online, like concert-wise, is those versus battles, like where they have one artist and then another artist, they sitting in the same room and they start playing each one of their music to see whose is better.
Yeah.
And everybody vote to see who won. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, I just think anything we can do to do actual entertainment right now is kind of crucial because society is going to, that's one thing I do think will happen is if the entertainment industry goes away, like a lot of people will lose their minds. Like, you know, like, yeah. I think a lot of people will be really happy, but I think a lot of other people will be like,
just online concerts are so boring. It's just not the same feel.
I think it's part of what keeps us sane, right?
It's standing there in a mosh pit or something or whatever you do.
Well, to be honest, that's how the artists make most of their money. I mean, they don't make money off record sales.
I don't know. I mean, they're all still doing music, so I bet they probably are fine. But I mean, like, you know, like.
Only thing is, I'm thinking like
they're probably just bored.
Why couldn't they have a concert if people can storm the Capitol?
Oh my gosh, the rich people are bored.
And nobody died of COVID that stormed the Capitol? It's 10,000 people.
It takes like 2 weeks for the bounce back from that. I mean, like I don't know. We may have missed the numbers when they came in, but I mean, like
Trump is hushing it up.
Everybody should have had COVID.
Trump's no longer in office, so he's not doing anything. I mean,
I'm just saying, like they had that big rally. They had that big rally and protest, and you mean to tell me? Like they do all this stuff to protect people from COVID. I mean, they might as well do concerts. I mean, people going out there protesting, like, I mean, completely with masks on.
Okay, hold on. Let's reel it in. They should not be doing concerts right now. Hold on.
See what happened in the Netherlands? So they put a curfew out in the Netherlands, and they haven't had a curfew this whole time. Like when it started last year, when everybody else was doing the doing curfews, Netherlands never went into one. Well, it's getting so bad. Like last week, they started one. So from 9 p.m. to I think it's like 5 a.m., their curfew is going on. They had riots in the streets.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. Like, just chill out for a few months, guys. I know we've been locked down for a while now, but like, guys, if you want. All right, this is where I'm going to say.
Like everybody's in prison.
If you genuinely care about anybody besides yourself in this world, just accept this. The vaccination, if you have to. The world sucks. No one told you it was going to be a comfortable experience. No one was saying, okay, we're going to do this lockdown. It's going to be the most pleasant thing you've ever experienced. Okay, no one's saying.
They brought out a vaccination, and now they're talking about COVID-19's then mutated, and it's an outbreak in California right now.
Oh yeah,
dude, I lost my banner for this. You know what? We're going bannerless because I can't remember where I put it.
I mean, every continent now has a new variant.
How does the virus mutate?
There we go.
South Africa has a new variant.
Yeah, they got a new one in South Africa. They're talking about it's killing people. They say it's more contagious.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like people think like,
I think we're mixing things. I think the British strain is the more contagious. I think the African strain might be more deadly.
I don't know. Either way they're saying it. Yeah, they're saying people in California are getting it.
Yeah, well, in California, it's funny. They said like they lifted everything, and they said, you can go out, but you shouldn't go out. But we're not going to tell you can't, but you shouldn't. Like it was the most backward thing ever. Like where they're like, oh, you can do this. I mean, it's like your parents saying, or your girlfriend, like, yeah, you can go hang out.
What about the places that aren't shut down, like Atlanta? Atlanta ain't shut down nothing. Like my kids stay in Atlanta. They're just like it's non-existent.
Right. I mean,
I assume Atlanta is experiencing high COVID numbers. I mean, I don't know. Like, I have no idea.
In California and Florida were the two number one. Like for a while, it was like
New York was pretty up there for a while, but I think they got a handle on it after a while.
California and Florida were like neck and neck. One day one would be higher, one day the other one would be higher. And so but Florida just don't give a fuck. That's all there is to it. Excuse my French, but I mean, seriously, look at who their governor is. He don't.
But they say COVID can't survive in the heat. So I guess more people in the South aren't catching it because, like,
right, so total. This is just rough numbers. So just in Fulton County, 75,000 cases. So I mean,
that's half of what we have.
Mm-hmm.
What here?
That's less than half
here in Ohio.
Ohio, we're like 300 and some cases, 300.
Why is it? What is it about Ohio that we get such high case numbers? I don't get it.
It's cold. They say the COVID travels through the cold. They say the heat kills it.
I have no idea how true that is.
We're having winter.
I don't know that, but I mean, hey, that's
we're having
probably
winter.
true.
The South isn't having a winter. First of all, we're
September
having
18th. There was a 21,000 case spike in.
Look, we're having like an Indian summer too. So it's not even.
Let me. I'm going to interrupt for 1 second just to share this because I got to share this data because this is just Google data, but it's so trust or not trust based on what you want. Hold on, how do I share it?
Yeah, but notice like we haven't even had a full cold summer yet. But so if we haven't had a full cold summer, that means the South hasn't had a full cold summer either, which means they rolling. They ain't went under the 60s yet.
There. Look at this. It's a spike of 20,000 cases.
Yep.
What? What is happening, Atlanta?
Again, it just goes to
sorry about that.
People don't care.
People getting tired of it. How
did 20,000 people get COVID in one day?
I think they're just trying to get rid of people that's not in the technology, so that way they can go ahead and change the age over to the full technology. Like everybody over 70, like I think the government's trying to get rid of them because they're trying to bring in this new technology. People that don't know the technology, the old ways, they don't want us to learn none of the old ways. So they're taking away the people that could teach us, like some of the old ways, like
going out camping. Advise not going in too deep into thought onto anything that really. I'm sounds just saying,
like does anybody know how to make fire from scratch? Like when the last, like back, I mean, I did Boy Scouts and stuff, but like back in the day, like some of us can still.
I just know how to do that instinctually.
Some of us can make fire. Like without, like off of nature, know how to build a house off of nature. Like they're taking away the skills to where you need technology, which is how the technological industry is making all this money. They gotta take away the skills to be able to invent and build. Like people back in the day used to know how to pitch a tent, cut firewood, build a fire, knew how to hunt, go get food, knew how to grow gardens. These kids, anybody that's 25 and younger would have no clue how to grow food. None at all. They're completely 100%, probably 85% sufficient on going to the grocery store. They could grow weed though, but they can't grow food.
I mean, I would argue that most people nowadays probably are kind of already at that point anyway, just because for years and years and years we live without needing to have more than just a specific group of people that it's their job to do certain things like that, right? Like heating our homes. We don't need to know how to make fire anymore because we don't need to know how our furnace works. You know what I mean? Because we don't have to light it with an actual, the people alive now that lived in a time when you had to actually light your furnace physically.
Do you know how to cook a fish after you caught it? out the ocean.
Okay, you're asking the wrong person because I have a family that had we had a lake house up in Rocky Fork that we would go in. Well, I didn't, but our rich side of our family did, and we would go up and fish occasionally. I do know how to do. I don't know how to clean a fish, but I do know how to cook a fish once it's been. I mean, I've been taught how to do things like that.
Like getting the fish out.
We live in a weird place for stuff like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're going to find a lot of people like me where we live, where that's going to be the case just because of where we live. But I mean, I also like, outdoorsy activities occasionally, like a lot of people. But, I got to clear my throat. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would advise against, and I'm just going to, hold on. I'm going to take the screen for a second. I would advise everybody that's listening against listening to anything that sounds conspiratorial in nature like that. Just on the basis of knowing how deceptive things have gotten recently. So, and the way that information is disseminated. So back to the show, but
GameStop stock.
Yes, buy GameStop. Anyway, fight the man. And so let's get on to some sports news. We kind of avoided it to this point. The first thing I want to talk about is we have our Super Bowl match set. It's been set for this year. We will have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that everybody loves with Tom Brady, the greatest of all time. And we will have nobody loves them, but anyway. But actually, I don't know what is the. I haven't really been paying attention to Tampa this year. What is the general feeling about them? Is that people liking them because Tom Brady's fighting Belichick's?
Everybody's watching this.
I think everyone just wants the guy to get another ring so he can solidify his title of GOAT, right? I think everyone's just kind of over him being the villain at this point.
Hey, you know what though? I think Green Bay. Somebody need to check their locker room because why?
What is happening with Green Bay? 2 NFC championship losses.
Why on 4th and goal would you kick a field goal with 2 minutes left?
That was a little strange to me. Statistically, they're going for 2 there. Doesn't matter.
They were going to need one either way because they couldn't get the touchdown at that point. So they were still down enough that they would need.
They would need a couple 2-point conversions.
If they could have scored, they were going to lose either way. If they had scored the touchdown, they could have went for the 2-point conversion.
All right, I'm going to go sports weeb for a second. So this is what I do know about extra points versus 2-point conversions, which is what this all hinges on because they were very close in score at that point, right? So it was a couple of
2 down. They
needed to get 2-point conversion at some point. Statistically speaking, you have to when you're down.
Yeah, but either way it go, at least if you had a touchdown, you get to kick it off.
What if you don't get the touchdown? What if you don't get a touchdown though?
2-point conversion earlier.
If they don't get the touchdown, they still got them on the 20-yard line and got a chance to, you
ultimately risk more.
Either way, if they don't stop them, either way, if they don't stop them, they're going to lose either way.
Right, so which is why the risk is worse. You don't take the risk when you're going to potentially lose either way.
They're at 4th and goal. They're not
because if you take that field goal and then your defense shows up where they don't have enough time.
This is the championship
time management. I think is what Matt LaFleur is really going to have to look at.
This is the championship game. This isn't an exhibition. This is the championship game.
I get it, but their statistics are still legitimate.
I'm saying this is a championship game. This is not an exhibition. You do not. This is all or nothing. Either way it go, you always bet high.
Matt LaFleur obviously likes statistics. That's all I'm going to say.
You always go high.
All I'm going to say is Tom Brady really picked the team out of random, called them up and was like, hey, y'all want to go?
Y'all want to defend the championship in your hometown?
He said, you guys, y'all want to, oh my God. He said, you all want to go to the Super Bowl?
Do you want to be the first team to ever host a Super Bowl as the home team, literally?
Right. Literally playing the game.
Never been a Super Bowl like that. Never.
That's going to be a really, really exciting game, I hope. And Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady. I mean, it's like GOAT versus future GOAT potentially. So it's like,
they're home, they still don't have the home crowd.
2 years ago? Wasn't it 2 years ago they played? But
they played in the AFC Championship game, and Tom Brady gave him the consolation, hey, you'll be back here one day. And guess what? They're back in a championship game. This one's for all the marbles.
Yep.
Either Patrick Mahomes secures his Hall of Fame status within 5 years of being in the league by having 2 Super Bowls, an MVP, and a Super Bowl MVP.
Yep.
Or Tom Brady adds even more to his legacy and does something that's going to make history by winning a Super Bowl.
He's already done it.
It is an incredible Super Bowl.
He has 10 Super Bowl appearances.
Tune in for this just for that.
He's like LeBron.
Is there another quarterback that has more rings than
No, not even close.
Is there a quarterback that's been to the Super Bowl more times than Tom Brady?
Not even close.
Not even close. That is amazing. It is him. It is him. It is not the team.
I told you.
It is him. Yeah.
Told you.
It's him.
Out to the goat. All right. So speaking of Super Bowl stuff, I'm actually curious. This is a good question. I didn't even think to ask this one. What are you guys eating on Super Bowl Sunday?
Wings.
Everything.
I have this really good chip dip that's like cheesy sort of. I don't know how to describe it. It's like cheesy, spicy chip dip that my family makes. That's really good. That I always enjoy having. Obviously, you got to have your wings. You got to have wings. Maybe some drumsticks. Ooh, some drumsticks. Yeah.
Super Bowl is the Sunday after this one, isn't it?
Lots of like finger food, like the kind of stuff that you would have at like a sports game in general, like your deep fry stuff that you would have. Yeah, that's totally what I'm going to be eating. I thought that was interesting when we threw this in the
definitely
topic list.
Wings on Super Bowl. Pizza.
Some pizza. I like a variety of things personally. It doesn't have to be just one thing. I like a deep fry with a little bit of maybe some pizza, some other stuff in there,
Or could try one of them new Casano bowls, the crustless pizza, because with that crust making, so I can't shit in the morning and night.
That's a good crust.
But Casano's got new pizza bowls where you don't.
All right.
Normally, I'd be like, "Hey, everybody, pile up at my house and let's watch the game." And
we can't do that this year.
But yeah, we can't do that this year. So it's like, all right.
We can't. Everybody just got to wear a mask.
It was so weird during the Stanley Cup. I was just sitting at home. I was sitting at home. This is how bad it was. I was sitting at home watching a pirated version of the Stanley Cup on my computer in this chair. It was so bad. It was so bad. All right, so we have one more sports-related thing to get to before we're actually coming up. We can talk about some other stuff at the end if we have any other things we want to throw in there. We didn't have as many topics this week, but let's go ahead and talk about the big football story of the week.
Deshaun Watson wants out of Houston.
Yep.
Come to Atlanta.
So Deshaun Watson, that would be an interesting landing spot for him.
Come to Atlanta.
They're in full rebuild as well. The guys are losing Matt Ryan, so absolutely, it's a good position. I would.
It only makes sense,
dude. Everybody, like when JJ Watt apologized to Deshaun Watson for how things have gone, this was a bad situation for this organization to be in. I'm not a big fan of football organizations that treat their players like crap and then expect them to play like they're not anyway, because clearly that's what was going on for years in Houston, because they were beating my team for years, which the only motivation I could think of is that they were told that if they didn't do this, that they weren't like, I don't know. There was something going on in Houston that made them play good enough, even though the organization was so shit. And so I don't blame him for wanting out. I have no idea where he's going to land. I have a few ideas. I think he could actually land in Jacksonville. That would be interesting.
Jacksonville.
I don't think they would trade him there.
Stay in Texas.
Well, here's the thing. Jacksonville has recently had recent accusations in the last few years of similar things, but they've recently seemed to be putting it back together more, especially with the Khan family taking on AEW. They seem to be allowing more
telling them to
actually run the organization.
Giants. A lot of people were speculating that he might go to
an interesting location, Daniel Jones.
The Giants or the Jets.
Think about all the teams that you had guys for the last 2 years that you were just question marking. Daniel Jones is one of them. Mitchell Trubisky is one of them. Cam Newton and the Patriots obviously aren't going to be playing together next year.
The Falcons would be the best one. We got the best wide receiver.
The Falcons, the Lions who are losing Matt Stafford. You have all kinds of teams where this guy could end up. All of them are pretty good teams. I mean, the Lions is the exception, but most of those teams. Imagine if Deshaun Watson ended up in New England.
Oh wow. Yeah, Belichick. That would be a real card to pull. All right, Brady, what you gonna do this year?
I mean, honestly, Brady.
Tom Brady comes out of retirement after winning his 7th Super Bowl to take on Belichick again.
Yeah. I mean, Belichick took Brady out of Michigan.
Tom Brady signs with the Colts. No, I'm just kidding.
Cam Newton, he done. Cam Newton done it. And
for sure. This year proved that he's not capable of being an NFL quarterback.
I watched him growing up, and Cam
Newton was so lauded coming out of college, man. He was so hot. They thought he was going to break all of Mike Vick's records, and
they went to the Super Bowl like his second year there, I think.
Literally his second year, and then they lost, and he got mad and ruined his career.
Yeah,
he need to cut his hair. That's what it is. He look like a crackhead.
He needs someone to work on his style. I'm not going to rip on anybody's drip, but he needs to work on his style. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's something about it. It just makes me
I don't know. Lamar Jackson looked like.
Oh crap! Who just got cut from Washington?
Dwayne Haskins.
Yes.
Who actually just got signed by none other than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ew. I guess.
Well, what if the Steelers get Deshaun Watson?
They won't. They think, if anything, if they're not going with Big Ben, they're going with Dwayne at this point, right?
Ooh, what if the Steelers get Deshaun Watson? And
Yeah,
you
there's
don't
no way they would sign a brand risk like Dwayne Haskins if they had any interest in Deshaun Watson.
Well, they couldn't. I mean, they couldn't have all three of them. You couldn't have Big Ben. If Big Ben retires,
by the way, that was a joke, folks. He just did some stuff recently that was not good.
I mean, Big Ben don't got much more time left, man. They really. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers, like, they had an undefeated season, but but they was barely winning those games.
It wasn't undefeated, but okay. I mean,
right?
They lost like 4 games at the end. I mean, but yeah, Pittsburgh they're in an interesting position right now because they had that great season with Big Ben, but I don't blame them for having a guy there like Deshaun, like Dwayne Haskins, because even though you don't know how he's going to work out, maybe under a guy like you know what? Ben, he can learn a little bit about humility and stuff like that. I don't know.
What if Watson goes to the Bengals?
Ooh, no, the Bengals have Joe Burrow.
Ooh, what are they going to?
The Bengals have a quarterback.
Yeah.
What do you mean if they goes to the Bengals? To what? Be the backup for Joe Burrow?
They're not going to get rid of.
By the way, between the two of them, you'd probably start Deshaun. But
is this Joe Burrow first year?
Yes.
Yeah, but Joe Burrow is the starter there.
Remember the conversation before? Remember back in the day when quarterback
didn't play last year, did he?
He got injured at like week 5 or something. I forget.
The first games, I think he ended up breaking.
You're going to have to give Joe Burrow another chance after that injury. You don't just burn a guy like after that, especially after the season of college football he had.
When they get drafted out of college, they'd have a year or two to practice. Like they didn't have to start. But nowadays, look at the Browns. Look how many quarterbacks the Browns have taken straight out of college.
And the one guy that was undercounted by everybody is the guy that almost gets them to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. But yeah, remember that?
I mean, undercount Baker Mayfield though. Everybody gave
Baker Mayfield was not in the conversation for the top 5 pick in the draft until about 2 months before, until the Senior Bowl.
Yep.
That's a legit story. He was known, but he was like a 4th round quarterback or something. He was not well known in the college football scene until he was. Sorry, let me change that. He was known for his work at Oklahoma. His work prior to Oklahoma, but until they almost won it. Did they win a national championship? I think they did, or they came close anyway.
Yep.
They came close.
In college,
he was good, but no one wanted him in their draft because they thought he was too small. Like literally, that's the story with Baker Mayfield. Even coming into the draft after he got drafted number 1 overall, they were like, "There's no way."
Yep.
And they still don't think he's good enough, even after the last 2 years, after the first year and this year, where he broke.
No, he shut everybody up this year.
Absolutely, he earned himself a contract.
Odell Beckham, they probably would have. They needed one more touchdown. I think if they
Odell Beckham lost me my fantasy franchise. Thanks, Odell.
Oh, we got to do that this year, Phil. You know how to do fantasy?
I'll set it up. No, I know how to set it up on NFL.com. Actually, I can do it for us.
I got to see how to do it.
I know how to do it. NFL.com's got a free one that's pretty good, so I can get us all set up for it.
Last year, like I've usually done one and love it, but last year
I took 3rd this last year.
Didn't even go nowhere. So
I took 3rd place in my league this past year.
But then, you don't even at the time we didn't even know that because they were like, players can opt out. So it's like, and you didn't even know. Until your draft, okay.
Do you guys want to do a top 10 each of us, a mock draft out of the picks that we know that are coming out of this draft? Because I could put together a pretty decent list for people to look out.
I don't watch college football.
Okay, then I can put together a list, Phil, for you to look up some tape on, and then Tony can talk about who we like.
I'd be watching the scores.
What do you think of Mac Jones, Tony? Quarterback.
Yeah, not great. I mean,
he's in the conversation though, right? Isn't it how weird how in the conversation he is in that mid range?
Yes.
Yeah, these are the kinds of things I'm gonna be talking about when I do that list. So yeah, I guess I'll do that list maybe next week because the draft's getting closer and closer as we go further to the playoffs. So no, you know what? Here's what I'll do. The week after the Super Bowl, I'll put my list together because we'll know a lot more about that anyway, and because Senior Bowl stuff's just starting to happen. So so we'll know a lot more. Plus, me and my boy that I do my other shows with are going to probably be doing some heavy tape watch here pretty soon anyway. So we'll see. I will update people on that more. But yeah, Deshaun Watson winning out. It's one of the most interesting stories that's come out recently, and I knew this was coming when JJ Watt
1 out of 10
made that statement earlier in the season. I just knew it was happening.
And even still, they still haven't signed Dak Prescott. So
that's gonna happen though. Dak, situation. I feel like at that situation,
they gotta give Dak credit.
Realize, okay, yeah.
Obviously, Elliott is not the one carrying you off.
No,
clearly, without that guy, your team is worthless. Like
Y'all
Jerry
paid
Jones's
Ezekiel Elliott
Jerry
all
Jones's
that money.
FU of signing Andy Dalton did not work out. You know,
No, these linebackers are shit too big now. All these new drugs, like these people are fast, man. These linebackers is fast as freaking like it's like wide receivers. Like you can't get away from these people. And being a
you
running
have to be
back
able
or
to
a
catch those
fullback in the
fast running
league,
backs.
you got to be. There's not going to be any more Jim Browns or no Eric Dickersons or no Barry Sanders anymore. Well, it could be a Barry Sanders.
You know what there will be though. Do you know
But it's
what there
gonna be
will be
like a
though?
Lamar Jackson.
There's what there will be though. There will be Nick Chubbs. There will be what is the guy in the Titans running back? I can't think of his name. Derrick Henry's.
Oh yeah, Henry.
You'll
Yeah.
have your Eddie Lacy's from back in the day, if anyone remembers Eddie
Yeah,
Lacy.
but see, even Henry is not. You can't do nothing when they focus their on that running
I
game.
agree.
And
You
cover down.
can't shut him
That's why
down.
the
You don't
Titans
shut him
lost.
down the same ways though, because
Henry
he'll
could
destroy
still
your
run people
linebackers.
over, but if they jump you, there's nothing you could do really. Like
Okay, I will give you, if you know the runs that they're running, you will probably beat them. But those kinds of running backs are the future now.
the only kind of running back that's really
one
man,
that hasn't
Lamar
noticed
Jackson.
it.
If they come out with somebody with like Lamar Jackson speed, but like Henry size that could juke and move that fast and then stiff arm you into the upper stands, then that's when we'll see it.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to be some hybrid Superman that's like bench pressing 500, running a 3.5.
Oh, you
and
mean
a
Aaron
40.
Donald? The defensive, what is he? A defensive tackle, defensive end? Like Aaron Donald benches 500, and he's a defensive lineman.
But is he running like a 3.9 and a
No,
40?
because he's a defensive lineman. But I mean,
That's what I'm saying. We
benches
need
500. I mean,
that's
come
what's
on,
gonna
man.
make
Like,
the next big fullback that's
all
gonna
right,
be
hold
like
on. Let me
Barry
look at my
Sanders.
picture. Okay, I'm gonna show you a picture of this man. And you're
We
gonna be
need
like,
somebody that's bench pressing 500. I'm calling this out to the football guys. We need someone that's like that's bench press about 500, runs about a 3.9 on the 40, and then
let's see if I can get a full
has the
picture of Aaron Donald.
has the IQ of Tom Brady, like where you know how to run through the holes. Like,
All right, this is what a guy that benches 500 looks like in the NFL, in the modern NFL. Here we go. Share. Look at this man.
Yep.
He benches 500 pounds. Defensive lineman for you.
Yep.
he probably slow though and got no win.
It really depends.
He ain't a fullback
Some of
though.
those guys have closing speed because they have to be able to close around the outside
We
edge.
talking about a fullback though, like
He's an
never-
edge rusher too. You got to keep that in mind. So he's got some speed.
Like I haven't seen a Barry Sanders or nothing like that in a while.
That might have been my football brain not being
Now,
correct there.
I'm not
He
gonna
does
lie
have
though,
some
the Titans do got the best like running game. I think they got some backs on the Titans.
Wait, what was it? I'm sorry, my brain just blanked.
They have some good running backs like on the Titans.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, specifically Derrick Henry is absolutely changing what it means to be a fast running back that also has power. Like he's the new power back that's like a giant dude, which I've never even seen before, but it's cool. Like I said, he's going to be the future. That's going to be the future of running backs.
You know what? The Ravens should take Watson and make Lamar like a tailback.
No. He should save their quarterback. He
Hey,
should save
that'd
their
be
quarterback.
great.
He should
Put
definitely
him
save their quarterback.
Now then they can run trick plays and everything. Like I might
I
do
honestly
that.
think that I'm having a
They can
popular
run
opinion.
trick plays that have Lamar Jackson running, get him beefed up a little bit, then have Watson up there passing it.
Here's my
Oh,
last
they'd be
topic for this
unstoppable.
show. It's an unpopular opinion. Lamar Jackson's going to be on the hot seat next year.
Yeah.
Nah,
Because
he
even
did
though
all
he's
these
had
things.
really good seasons, there's something about the playoffs that he cannot handle.
Yep.
Defense.
And so they need to figure something out with him, I think. I'm not sure entirely what. I think
no, they need a running back. They need somebody that can run.
they have had running backs there. They had Mark Ingram.
He's not good enough. They need a Henry. They need somebody that can run. To
Fair.
whereas if Lamar ain't running,
All right,
then they
fine.
got to worry about another running back. They need
Draft
one
the
more
guy
running
this
back.
year then. There's a
They need
running
one
back in the
more running
draft
back,
this year that will solve
And they
all
need
those
a mean
problems.
ass linebacker because the Ravens are really supposed to be based off of defense, according to the owner. The owner based like that's the old Cleveland Browns owner. And when the Ravens won their Super Bowls, they didn't go off of offense. They based their
Cleveland
style
Brown
off of
fans were so mad when that happened. They were so mad. Like
that
we
was
talk about how annoying Ohio sports fans are now, but guys, you don't understand what it was like. I wasn't alive then, but just hearing about how people reacted to them moving the Browns to Baltimore.
and then they won the Super Bowl.
Oh man, it was so brutal.
And that was with Ray Lewis.
Because it felt like when they won that Super Bowl, they almost like proved the owner right. You know,
that's the one they beat Kaepernick in. They beat San Francisco.
Yeah, that was Kaepernick's like last full season as a starter. I think actually, I could be wrong. I mean, he started seasons after that, but I think that was like the start of his downfall. Was the loss in that Super Bowl.
Traumatizing.
No, I don't know that. I think they just started to look at him as not as good as other quarterbacks on their roster, even though he was. You know, like he was better. They just didn't want to see it.
I'm mad at the Browns though. Like they had a chance, man. They really did. Mahomes had a concussion. This is like, here's the food. Here it is. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. Run one. All you had to do was you only had one job. One job.
I just think that the Ravens just need to figure. I don't know. Something about their system is failing them defensively. I agree with you, but I just don't know what it is because they seem to have really good defensive players. So I don't know. Maybe I agree with you. The running back thing could definitely be a factor. I don't know that it's losing them games though, especially because Lamar can make up for a lot of that lack of running.
You might need a star wide receiver too. You might need a Julio Jones or something.
They have somebody that's young there that's just not popping like everyone wants him to. Something Brown maybe or something. I can't remember, but you know, like
you really can't follow Lamar. They wouldn't even want a playoff game if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, no, he's getting them to the playoffs every year now because he's able to put up like 20, 30 touchdowns.
And they won a playoff game because of him. Only thing is, can he stay healthy, keep taking that punishment?
That's the thing. That's what yeah. I mean, that's arguably what could have affected him in this last game. You know, he wasn't entirely there. So it's like, they just something is like, maybe they just need to have a year where maybe not everybody in the AFC is like so ready to win, but like until the Colts and the Titans and apparently Patrick Mahomes wins like 9, they're not going to be out of the running, you know. So
but look, if Tampa Bay wins the Super Bowl, I'm going to buy a Brady jersey.
When
I'm going to buy a Brady jersey.
I don't think it's a win. I think it's an if. I think Patrick Mahomes has every chance to win back-to-back Super Bowls.
Oh, he has a chance, yes.
I don't think Tampa Bay gonna beat Kansas City.
Dude, imagine if there's the literal passing of the torch because Brady's up by like 10 or 20 in the third, and then Mahomes has a fourth quarter Super Bowl comeback like Tom Brady has been known.
Tampa Bay. The only thing that would save them is like have the Kansas City team catch COVID. And they just have to sit everybody out the Super Bowl. That's
the thing about having star players. There's like 3 players, maybe 4 on that team that I'm like, yeah, these are the guys. Like, but everybody else is like very much just like everybody else.
Like 6 other players called COVID. So Tampa Bay is going to be playing against them with their. Oh my.
Mahomes. The only thing Mahomes has going against him, in my opinion, at this point, is the concussion he got during the playoffs. I think that's potentially going to affect him, but I don't think it's going to affect him that much.
Against the Bills.
Yeah, that was against the Bills, right? Yeah. And did you see the Bills player reach out on social media afterward to apologize? It was a Browns player. It was a Browns player. Yeah, I guess he did play against the Bills. So I mean, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it didn't affect him against the Bills. It just destroyed the Bills, like absolutely
eliminated. Yeah, they made them look
34 to like what is it, 34 to 24 or something.
Josh Allen, who arguably was ahead of Mahomes in the MVP race, looked like an absolute fool out there. But you know what? He had a good thing to say afterward in his tweet. He was like, you know what? We're just more hungry now, you know, and it's like fair enough. The Bills is the other team I couldn't. I mean, the Bills when I was talking about the AFC Giants.
Hey, now the Bills are the biggest choke team in NFL history.
Like 4 years in a row, right?
Yeah. They went to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost all 4.
Oof.
With Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas.
What does it say about Buffalo? It's a drinking city with a sports problem.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what I've heard about Buffalo. You know, like yeah. I mean,
only thing good there is the wings, I guess.
Apparently,
I guess they actually do come from Buffalo too, which I didn't know. Which I guess makes sense.
Yeah. Hey, did you hear that Jason Witten's going to sign a 1-day contract with the Cowboys?
Who was it? Jason Witten?
Jason Witten.
To retire with the Cowboys. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's a cool move by, I'm sure they had to involve somebody with that. They're like, yeah, of course, Jason. Duh, you can retire with the team where you made your career. Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Get your ass out of here.
Imagine if they were like, nah, dude, you left. Sorry, you're a Raider now.
They're gonna be like, you know what? You're a water boy.
I want to say he did that. They did that for somebody else too. Like there was another player that did that where they had played with the Cowboys for so long. and then
Probably.
sign with somebody else.
Could have been a wide receiver or something. I don't know. But
Sign a 1-day contract.
Everybody be so hype about the Cowboys. When the last time they won a Super Bowl? I'm sorry, Tony.
not since the 90s. Yeah, I mean, maybe
Since
pre-90s.
Emmitt
Let me look. Curious.
Since Emmitt Smith,
Nice.
Michael Irving.
Do you know they're the most valuable franchise in all of sports?
Yes, I do.
Crazy.
Them in Pittsburgh.
That's why Mike McCarthy is their head coach right now. You know what I mean? Because he's went to
Them
the place with
in Pittsburgh are the most valuable. And
The last championship they had for Super Bowl was in 1995.
Super
Damn.
Bowl 30, it looks like, or 20, maybe.
Yep, Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin.
Okay.
Now,
there you go.
Emmitt Smith was an unstoppable running back. You know, I got 3 Emmitt
Greatest
Smith
of all
rookie
time.
cards. By the way, if anybody want to buy one, I'm selling them for $500 a piece.
Yeah, small, undersized, not believed to be the best, but was.
Emmitt Smith rookie cards.
Do you have Emmitt Smith rookie cards?
Yes,
What?
I have 3 of them.
Are they like autographed?
Perfect condition.
Do they have the signature on them?
No, but I'm gonna stock them and I'm gonna get one.
Okay. I was about to say if they're rookie autos, I was literally about to freak out. Like, oh my gosh.
He's gonna pull an O.J. Simpson and break into Phil's house.
No, I would have just been really impressed that you were just sitting on 3 rookie auto Emmitt Smith cards.
No,
That
I
would've been
never
insane.
couldn't get his autograph. I tried to because my uncle used to play
Well,
for
the reason why I was
Lions.
asking is because they do runs of rookies.
I had an
when
uncle
they-
that played for the Detroit Lions, and then he played for Atlanta. So sometimes, well, the Lions, we used to go to the game in the back of the locker rooms. I remember we went to a Dallas game, and I was like, "Oh shit," because Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith was considered the best. They was the 2 like best running backs. Trying to get to
Too Tall Jones card somewhere. Yeah.
I got the Barry Sanders, but I didn't get the Emmitt.
The 2 greatest running backs of all time. Yeah.
I can get Barry Sanders to sign one.
Barry Sanders, I feel like it'd be easier to get signed something. He seems a lot more humble. Not that Emmitt Smith isn't, but I just feel like Emmitt Smith is much more about like, no, I'm the greatest of all time.
Yeah, Barry Sanders is
Like-
fun. I had to jump in the car with
Hmm.
him because a bunch of fans tried to rush him.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Okay. Was there anything else we wanted to hit? We're hitting right about an hour at this point, so it'd be a decent time to end it, or we can throw some more stuff in there. Were there anything related to sports that we didn't touch on, or any topics?
I'm just ready. I'm ready for the Super Bowl. They didn't start basketball season back up.
I'm ready for the NBA to start feeling like it's more regular again, and like it is. But like I just haven't been watching games. Once football ends, I'll feel like I'm more invested.
Daytona 500. I'm excited for that coming up. So we got the Super Bowl, then Daytona 500.
Then NHL playoffs will be in like 6-7 months, something like that. And then similar to NBA as well.
Nobody cares about baseball.
Look, here's the thing about baseball. Spring training starting soon. You're going to hear me
Nobody
talking
cares.
nonstop. You're going to hear me talking nonstop about baseball. I'm avoiding it for now.
Look,
Tony
I watch-
knows this.
I
Tony
watch
didn't even
ESPN
ask me because he
Sports
knows.
Center first
As
take
soon as
every
baseball
day.
starts back up, I'm going to be insufferable again. Trust me. But
Last
also
2
because my team is literally trading every piece away from it.
You know
is
what?
why.
Baseball is starting to become like the WNBA.
Oh,
No.
All they do is
Oh, no. Hold on. Get out of here. Bye.
yeah.
I'm sorry. It's like baseball is just.
By the way,
not-
there's nothing wrong with the WNBA. I don't like the comparison of it being
yeah,
considered
that
a
was
smaller
really
organization.
sexist. I mean, it's like I'm just saying the WNBA don't got a lot of fans and like MLB.
That's the thing I was offended about. In case anybody gets offended, that I was offended.
People like
Yeah.
to go to baseball games. It's just there's no like you don't have some hot like when the Braves had the Rocket and like when some of them players like you don't have no significance. Like
Well,
no
that's because
dominant.
all the best players get bought by like 5
There's nobody
teams.
dominant in baseball right now. Like Barry.
Oh, there are
Bonds,
dominant teams. Let me tell you, there's a team with 26 championships, dude.
Barry Bonds was like the last real like hype person.
Like the only other franchise that even I think comes close to the Yankees is the Montreal Canadiens, who
or
have
King
more
Griffey
wins.
Jr. No, we need a entertainer, somebody that people come to the games to see.
The Braves have been a really good team over the years. The Braves, I thought, actually had a shot in the playoffs
Like,
this past
who's,
year.
all right, who's the dominant baseball player that everybody would want to come to see? Where they're going to sell out because this baseball
Mike Trout.
player is here.
Mike Trout. No, wait, sell out. I mean, that's objectively a weird question. Probably, that's a weird question because a lot of the teams that are going to
Right.
sell out aren't. Well, here's why I say that, because a lot of the teams that are going to sell out, I just have like 9 of the best players in the
People
league.
used to love to go see Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire, Barry Bonds.
There's guys like that, but they're all on the same 5 teams, is what I'm getting at. So you don't go out to the 5. You don't go out. So Francisco Lindor, good enough to
Barry
do that.
Bonds,
he was the only buddy that was worth going. Him and Cesar Hernandez are the 2 only important players on my team. Okay, and so that's why
you got to be somebody on record. They got to be we need a record breaker. They need another record breaker. They need somebody exciting that is impossible to stop. Somebody that does something amazing like Ken Griffey Jr., you know, who like they see out there, or
it could be Ronald Acuna or not Ronald Acuna.
They need
What's
some
that
stars.
guy's name?
It's too even.
The guy that did the Grand Slam thing.
It's too even. You know what I'm saying? It's like WNBA. It's too even. They don't have a hero and a bad guy.
There's definitely a star. Who's that? There's a chick that's been trying to get the WNBA notice. What is her name? She's that really, really good player that's just went in recently in the last few years. I can't remember her name, but we talked about her on our show.
But that's what I'm saying about baseball, though. Like they need.
I don't think baseball's going away. I think baseball is getting less and less popular, but I don't think it's ever going to be to that level.
No, it's just they need a hero and a bad guy. That's it. They need a hero.
All right, bad guy. Houston. Bad guy is Houston because they are evil cheaters, and. Then a good guy, I don't know, make it the Yankees. Everyone used to hate the Yankees. Let's make them the heroes now.
But the Yankees,
really great.
Here's
what I say about the Yankees. They have some of the best pitching in the MLB right now. Some of the absolute best.
Like, the Yankees had Derek Jeter. It was like a nemesis. And
they had A-Rod at the same time. They had the hero and the villain.
Yeah, A-Rod. That's another.
They had the hero and the villain at the same time.
Right now, they just got people. They're not even coming out of college because they need to work on their whole. I think MLB need to work on their whole franchise.
Like, baseball,
they need to get their college game up to anticipate somebody coming in and destroy baseball.
So it's actually beneficial to a baseball player to play college ball, I've heard. So, I mean, I don't know. But, I mean, they say that it can help you prepare for the minor leagues a little bit better. And sometimes it'll give them a better idea of where you're actually going to fit into a system. Sometimes they'll make a guy go to college. Even though
a wicked pitcher. Like, we haven't had a Randy Johnson, whatever his name is, in a long time.
Mike Clevenger, Shane Bieber. There you go.
But see, they need to start. See, that's another thing too. Baseball need more commercials. They need more promotion and sponsors.
All right, I'm going to tell you right now, Phil. If you want to have fun watching baseball, pay attention to the Padres this year.
I'm saying like they need some shoes. Like
the Padres are going to be really fun to watch this year. I'm not even.
Like remember the A-Rods? Like they need shoes. They need more endorsements.
All right, okay. You know what? This is even more perfect. Let me try and find the guy's name. Because this is so you want like guys like that. All right, perfect team is Padres then, because the Padres just added like half of the league's good players to their roster through trades. So keep that in mind. They picked up Clevenger from us last year in terms of pitching, so they've got a really solid front four. That's football term, but they have a really solid 1 through 4 starting pitching rotation at this point.
Yeah, I just say they need to get some of
the Padres have this guy. Hold on, I'm trying to find his name. Who last year broke the unwritten rules that you were talking about that you didn't we weren't that big of a fan of. And I'm trying to think of his name. Oh my gosh!
When the last time you seen somebody wear a baseball shirt for fashion?
Oh, I did it like last year.
It's something they need to invest in. Like nobody wears a baseball shirt for fashion. They are killing it. They need to see it ain't a matter of the game. They just need to sponsor people. So that gives like why are they put this guy on a jersey? So they look like they're not sponsoring. Like back in the day, everybody had at least one baseball jersey. Like everybody. You know, everybody had a baseball jersey. They had shoes named after people. We forget about Pete Rose, like all these people like that made a huge difference. Controversies, him getting drunk, gambling. Like, remember all this stuff? Baseball was on the news.
All right, Phil. I'm going to make you like baseball again. You're going to watch the Padres this year, and you're going to watch them, and you're going to watch for this kid called Fernando Tatis Jr., who last year hit a grand slam with a full count. Sorry, not a full count, with a 3-0 count, which is a big unwritten rule break, which made shockwaves in the league last year because people were like, how dare you break the unwritten rules of baseball? That's unfair, and you're making it unfair for the pitcher. Like, yeah.
But can he beat Barry Bonds' record?
Barry Bonds just got denied from the Hall of Fame with nobody going in.
That's because there's nobody left.
No, there's not nobody left. There's plenty of people that are just being not in because of steroids and other things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They need to hype baseball up. They need to start.
They started juicing the balls. What do you want from them?
That's actually a good idea, though. Like something
they did, though. They made the balls easier to hit. I'm not even joking. They do it for the playoffs every year.
Every single year they start juicing the ball toward the playoff time because they want it to be more interesting.
Like when people like when I was baseball,
But that's not what makes you like baseball in the first place. I like
baseball used to have controversy. Like when baseball season, you don't know nothing about baseball until the playoffs. Like
you get a pretty good idea with 162 game season.
They're not giving TV time though.
Oh, I agree. Right. Not every team. You don't have a decent idea of every team. That's fair.
Yeah, like
that's
basketball got TNT Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I tend to stay within region if I can. To try and make it easier to manage.
They got
so
NBA
I watch
TV.
the Reds a lot, but I also watch every Cleveland game that I can. So it's like, But
most interesting thing, that's the most interesting thing in baseball right now is that the Indians got to change their name.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to refer to them as the Cleveland baseball team until they get a new name, just because I refuse to contribute to it.
But I do like baseball. I just don't think. I think they took the action of Frank Thomas's. They need some more of those in there. They need some Bo Jacksons. They need some action. It's too balanced, like the WNBA. Like I say, it's too balanced.
Nah, that's not the problem in baseball. The problem in baseball is much deeper than that. It has to do with how the game is currently viewed by the people that are playing it. I think. It's on a level of they don't care about the sport anymore because they feel. I think there's a whole generation of baseball players that because their sport wasn't as mainstream as it was in the 90s, 80s, earlier than that, that they're just mad and they don't want to help the game at all, so they don't do it at all. And there's some people that want to try and get baseball back into the mainstream, but they don't care enough to actually do it. Not enough people in the media industry anyway. So it's like because they've decided that baseball is an unpopular sport.
Like baseball is good. Like the last good game was what? When them,
people paid attention to baseball,
they went like 18 innings. Like, geez, they went like 18 innings or something like that.
Yep.
The longest game like in history, like that type of stuff. They need stuff like that.
There was a game that was like 13 to 11 or something earlier this last year. I mean, they're literally everything that you're talking about is happening. Just no one's watching.
That's why I say they need more sponsors, more commercials.
They have so many spots. You cannot watch a baseball game without like a 30-second interrupting ad.
When is the last time you seen
it's not even a pitching change. The pitcher will just be sitting there setting up.
When the last time you seen a baseball player in a commercial? Like this is just media.
The Big Hurt does that one commercial for male.
Yeah, they got Frank Thomas doing
things,
prosthetics. Like, ooh, that's Frank Thomas. It's like, ooh,
Big Hurt, man. What? He was big.
He's like, I use this and I make my woman happy all the time.
I'm just saying that's a commercial.
Straight. They need some sports.
That's a guy from the 80s too. I mean, like, come on. I think it was the 80s, right? 90s, whatever.
It was that Bo Jackson, Wayne Gretzky, and Michael Jordan. They had the 3 All-Stars. It was a cartoon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
I think baseball need more sponsorship, more media presence.
Nah.
They need more.
Baseball just needs to open itself up. I think baseball just needs to open itself up to more people. I think they need to make it more accessible.
And they need to dominate. Like you look at football, you think Mahomes and all these star quarterbacks, you think like, wow.
And I think baseball, I think Mike Trout, I think
you think of
Sabathia, I think
you think LeBron James,
Mike Clevenger. I mean, these are guys that I think of. It's hard when you're not in the baseball sphere to really like it's hard to get someone to get into that because there is a lot that you have to get somebody into in order to be a fan of basable. It's just like anything else. But I think what we should do is simplify the explanations of the game.
They got to get
because there's a lot more going on than a lot of people realize.
Now, this is like I take this the wrong way, but they need to get more black people into baseball.
I've been trying to subtly hint at that. They need to diversify baseball is what I'm getting at. I'm trying not to be insensitive.
They need to get more people into it. Like everybody's in the basketball, they're in the football. I mean, even hockey.
Why is the NBA like the second most popular sport nearly?
Like when
it is because it hits more demographics, just like the NBA or the NFL hits more demographics than
even when a hockey
championship
come, hockey's kind of jumping a little bit when it's going for that Stanley Cup. Right, they get a lot of ESPN play. Like they're
absolutely. Hockey's a fun sport in the playoffs, man. It's so fun in the playoffs. It's 6-game series. It's so intense, man. Ooh.
And they need better commentators for baseball. Like the dude that
I like what they're doing now. I would disagree. I like the sort of almost golf commentary of it. It is interesting. And by the way, I love when a dude goes from like, and this is why the Indians are one of the best teams in the league. I did it. One of the with Mike. I'm just gonna use Mike Trout. With Mike Trout joining the team this year, really upped their numbers. And oh my gosh, there's a home run, center field. That's that to me, they're doing that fine. They just need
need some trauma. It's like the players they paused. It's like the skill set isn't upgrading like everything else. Like football, the defense people are way faster.
I blame sabermetrics for that.
The football, like basketball, they're bigger, they're dunking more.
You know what? I blame sabermetrics because Moneyball, it's all numbers now. So statistically speaking, they're actually right, and it sucks. But yeah.
And then a lot of people that could have been great baseball players go to the NFL or NBA.
Well, if you're a multi-sport guy, I guess it's really up to you at the end of the day, right?
A lot of them people in football and basketball that do good play baseball.
That doesn't seem to be happening as much anymore.
Because baseball is not going to get you any endorsement deals.
It also isn't. It's also Michael Jordan. What was it? Michael Jordan? No, not Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan went to baseball. Yeah. But you don't get.
Didn't go well for him, did it?
If somebody tell you that you're going to become a professional baseball player, you're not going to be famous. Like you won't see you can see a baseball player. You can go get to a baseball player and get their autograph right now.
Probably, there's no baseball player. Probably gotten a Lindor autograph if I went up to Progressive Field.
Yeah, there's no baseball player right now that could walk in public and everybody be like, "Oh my God, look who's here!"
Yeah,
no, there's certain level of players. Actually, I'll disagree. There are certain players.
Who?
Some people, like Mike Trout, the guy that I keep bringing up, could not walk into public. Most of them couldn't because they're all famous to there may not be like hundreds of millions of people watching like they do for the Super Bowl.
But what I'm saying is like Nike, Reebok, or freaking Adidas, or none of them are going to get them endorsed. Gatorade's not going to get them a commercial. Or
okay, hold on. University of Florida is clearly in with the NFL.
Coke.
Hold on. Let's be real for a second. So there's clearly, I doubt that a company that originally started when the University of Florida was one of the, and it still is one of the best teams in college.
When the last time have you seen a commercial with a baseball player in it?
That's why I brought up the obscure example that I did of the Big Hurt in that commercial, because that's the one that I can think of. I can't think of if you watch baseball games, you'll see them.
Great subject, by the way.
What?
This is a really great subject, by the way.
I think so. I mean, baseball's an interesting.
You're right. I can't baseball right now does not have that big name that you talk
about the largest sponsors of the MLB because I'm curious what they are.
Right, who has a commercial? They don't show no baseball commercials. They don't pump it. The media was
right now they don't, but right now especially because you got football going on. So
it looks like it's Budweiser, DraftKings, Google. It's a lot of companies. It's a lot of companies. It's a lot of big brands. Hankook Tires, Chevrolet, Barbasol.
I think in the last year,
Gatorade is a sponsor of the MLB, by the way.
But what player is getting sponsored like LeBron James or Mahomes got a commercial? What's his name?
They get bat. Okay, this I do actually know. I didn't know this is what we were talking. So they get bat deals and stuff like that. They'll get deals for their equipment and stuff like that. That's what baseball generally does. They make enough money.
Now that them commercials that be like Baker Mayfield goes on the field
Here's the thing. Okay, I agree with you, but a guy like Baker has to do that to make money, right? Because he was on a rookie contract. He didn't have the money. He wasn't making big money deal because he wasn't that touty coming out.
But that's what makes football more plentiful because people like that, like Baker Mayfield, can do a commercial and make yourself famous. Or, being famous is what makes you want to go see, I want to see this guy, Baker Mayfield. Baseball needs to start sponsoring their players. They need to pick out 10, maybe 5, just 5.
Five guys to just be the mainstream people.
5 guys they put on.
There's one right now.
A beer commercial or put on something, or Geico commercial, anything. There's one of Frank Thomas being on a Prostagenics commercial. That's the only one I could think of.
There's one guy right now who's trying it.
He's get the Prostagenics and
his name is
balls work.
Bauer. I might be wrong. He's a former Indians pitcher who went to the Reds last year, and he's really good. He won for the Reds. He won the AL Cy Young for being the best pitcher in the MLB on his side of the league. And he is reaching out on social media with his own shows. He's got podcasts and stuff like that where he brings in other MLB players to expose them to the world. So this is a real thing. You're right, Phil. This is absolutely the thing that the MLB is having to do right now. It just only can reach so far, so fast, I guess, is the reality we live in. So
but again, this right now in the last year, they haven't. So many players last year opted out of playing.
Yeah, but I don't think that was. I don't think it
Yeah.
affected viewership though. I think viewership happened whether it did or not. Like I don't know. Baseball for me, I don't really care if it dies at some point because I love baseball. It's my favorite sport to watch, but I don't know that it needs to survive. I think it's a sport that if it doesn't do things to try and emphasize why it should involve more people than it already does, then what's the point? Like
Baseball. Look, they didn't even make no baseball games for video games, and that is fun.
MLB The Show 2020 is coming out on the Xbox One. You should get it when it comes out.
Baseball is fun to play on a video game.
I mean, baseball's always been like America's pastime. And so they don't need to do anything else for it. They really do. I mean, just like you said, it's fun going to a game, but it's not super fun to sit and watch on your TV in your house.
All right, I'm challenging you guys. You guys are picking MLB teams and NHL teams this year, and we're following hockey and baseball closely. I'm challenging you.
All right.
What teams are you guys picking? You could go with.
I'm picking
Would you want to go with the Dallas Stars? They were in a Stanley Cup last year. I mean,
I'm doing the rest for baseball.
I'm gonna have to go with the
you're
Braves.
best for baseball. So you're going with the Braves, okay? And then what for the NHL? You guys?
Oh, and Hank Aaron just died too. It just
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that. Hank Aaron, rest in peace, right? Like wow. Talk about legends of the game that you don't have anymore. Hank Aaron was one of those,
Cicely Tyson died. They just announced
R.I.P.
Yeah, but rest in peace to Hank Aaron. I mean, that's obviously thoughts, prayers to the family, such like that. Even if you're not religious, send them out. But I'm trying to think. What were we just talking about before we brought up Hank Aaron? Hockey. Oh yeah, what hockey teams do you guys want?
I'm taking the Blue Jackets.
All right, Columbus. So you're going all Ohio. I respect it.
Dayton Flyers.
He's got the Reds and the Blue Jackets, and you got who? What do you say?
He's got the Dayton Flyers. They have a hockey team.
Dayton does have a minor league hockey team. Sorry, I should say Columbus has a minor league hockey team.
The Dayton Flyers. I used to go to that game. Look what they was in Dayton
or Cincinnati. Maybe one of the two cities.
No, this one
of
here.
The major cities has a minor league hockey team.
No, my school took me to a hockey game. I know we went on a field trip once a year when I was with Safety Patrol.
I'm trying to think regionally. What would Georgia be regionally? Let me look up an NHL map and I'll tell you who your team is.
Atlanta Thrashers.
What? That's not a team.
Ain't it the Atlanta Thrashers?
I don't think so.
That's a band.
That sounds like a band, actually, yeah.
Atlanta Thrashers. I do that.
There's a big swath of the country that doesn't have an NHL team. You would be a Carolina Hurricanes fan. You would be Carolina Hurricanes, it looks like.
No, Atlanta do have a hockey
or the Nashville Predators, whichever you prefer.
Yeah, the Atlanta Thrashers. Atlanta got a hockey team, a professional hockey team.
They're probably a minor league hockey team because there's the American Hockey League. Is it the AHL?
No, Atlanta Thrashers is a real team.
I'm not saying it's not a real team. It's probably an AHL team or an OHL
no, it's not.
team.
Atlanta Thrashers is a real. They almost won not too long ago. They're in the NHL.
I do not know about this team.
They went to the Stanley Cup in 2006, 2007. They won a championship.
Yeah, because they were dissolved in 2011 and became the Winnipeg Jets.
No, in 2006, the Atlanta Thrashers won the Stanley Cup.
Yes, and then they became the Winnipeg Jets in 2011. What do you mean?
No, they're still the Atlanta Thrashers.
No, they're not.
They're not. Yes, they are.
No, they're not. It literally became the Winnipeg Jets.
No, they're not. They're still the Thrashers. No, yep, they still play their games at Phillips Arena. Yeah, they're still there. Oh, yeah, they closed. No, they're still there. Oh, yeah, they did become a Winnipeg Jets.
So would you like to be a Winnipeg Jets fan since it's the same franchise?
Where the hell is Winnipeg?
Canada.
In Canada.
Oh,
I'll tell you, if you choose to do that, it's an all-Canadian teams league this year. So you're going to get a lot of really good hockey if you watch those games.
Oh, you're right. They did become the Winnipeg Jets. That's messed up.
Blame Atlanta. I don't know. They didn't want the NHL, apparently. All right, I think that's about when we should end the show. We're about an hour and 20 minutes. This is the longest show we've ever done. If you guys want to see longer form content like this, make sure you leave it in the comments for sure.
Yes.
I
I try to shoot for a different range than this usually, but I don't really care if we're having a good conversation. So, but anyway, if you guys want to make sure you see every video, make sure you click the bell when you subscribe because it'll let you know every time we go live, because we don't tend to upload like other content on this channel. So you literally just need to be bell clicking so that you know when we're going live, because otherwise you'll just have to catch the VOD later, which is always fine. Just feel free to watch us if you want to, and share the video if you want your friends to watch this show. And we are going to see you guys next time. Make sure to like the video though.
Yeah.
Like it.